Plastic. Avocado cups, just avocado and salt, completely encased in plastic. Plastic. Miso, a healthy fermented food, encased in a plastic tub. Plastic. Corn tortillas, only ingredient is corn, wrapped in plastic. Plastic, 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 plastic. Cucumbers, individually wrapped in plastic. Organic mustard in a plastic bottle. Tahini in plastic. Nut butters, almond butter, peanut butter, yum yum yum, in plastic. Frozen fruit, edamame, also wrapped in plastic. My favorite drinking water, in plastic. Plastic is everywhere. I'm trying not to have a panic attack. Breathe. Okay, there's got to be a solution, and there is. Well, we can't get rid of plastic entirely, but we can minimize our exposure, and I'll show you some easy swaps to do just that. Microplastics are extremely problematic. They're in our blood, our tissues, our organs, in our brains, and have even been found in breast milk. It's tied to all sorts of medical conditions, reduced immunity, autoimmune conditions, Alzheimer's, and cancer. We're probably getting most of our microplastics from bottled water, especially those single-use bottled waters, and you don't want to heat them. You don't want to heat anything in plastic either. And so you always want to cook something in you know, if you're going to cook it in the microwave, cook it in glass. And don't put these they're not glass, these plastic containers in the microwave. You're just going to heat the plastic, and these microscopic particles are going to get into your food, and you're not going to know about it. And I just learned that you shouldn't even put these in the dishwasher, because the dishwasher is going to heat up the plastic, and then the plastic's going to go over all your food. So these, I just hand wash them, and then I just put a paper towel over my food if I microwave it. I haven't microwaved food in like over 5 years. I just heat it on the stovetop. But if I was gonna microwave it, I would put a paper towel over the top. So what we're supposed to do is drink water from the tap. But my tap water is gross. It just tastes terrible. I don't like the way it tastes. And I wanted to look at the records for my county to find out if there's any contaminants in my area. And I just looked it up, and I was extremely horrified. This is what I found. Where I live, my water is contaminated over and above what is allowed. All these chemicals are tied to cancer, and they're in excessive amounts. Even uranium, I was shocked. Uranium, really? And then there's all these other chemicals, bromoform, bromate, bromodichloromethane, chloroform, really? And then here's another one I can't pronounce, dibromochloromethane. That sounds like something from a cow's butt. But I don't want that in my water. So I bought a whole house filter, and it was really expensive, and it got installed, and it has all these 5 different levels. It cost me over $4,000, and the water still tastes weird. I don't even like the way it tastes. So I've been putting a little bit of coffee in my water so it tastes better, but it was still tasted funky. So I started drinking water from my filter through my refrigerator, and that way it's double filtered. And I still don't like it. Probably maybe those chemicals are coming through. So I just am drinking my water from here. This tastes better. But I'm still worried because it's in plastic. So my husband got me this water. It is in glass. And you can get glass bottles of water. And I haven't tried this yet, so let's see if this tastes any better. And it maybe, it might be cheaper just to get the glass instead of all these filtration systems. Let's try this. All right, so cold, of course. Cold's gonna be better. I don't know why I smelled it, but it doesn't have a smell. It's good. It shouldn't. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, no, this tastes good. This I can drink without putting like tea in it or coffee. Now let's compare the two. This is the bottled water with coffee. It's good. This is better, and it doesn't have coffee in it. So you have a couple options there. There are some filtration systems that you can put on your counter. But I looked at those. Those have plastic in it. So you're putting water, it is being filtered out of some of the other contaminants, but then some of them have been shown to add microplastics. So this is probably the safest option, but the refrigerator with a filter, that's a good option too. So it may not even be a budget thing, and at least you've got some choices. And I realized I'm adding plastic to my smoothies. I'm putting my smoothies in a plastic container, and especially if I'm making soups, which I have done, and I also make like a vegan cheese with potatoes and carrots and nutritional yeast, and it's hot, and I'm heating it in this plastic container, and I started to freak out. So then I found you can buy a stainless steel, this beautiful container. This stainless steel Vitamix pitcher is $250. It's smaller, but there's no plastic, and I really like it. I just bought it. I think it's worth the price. It keeps my smoothie cold. It's quieter, and it's easier to blend. It doesn't suck as much air into the smoothie, so it tastes better. The only thing is I can't see the smoothie and the food blended, so I have to go on my tippy toes and look at the top. And of course, what is the top made out of? Plastic. But at least it's not touching my food. So that is a good option if you want to spend the $250. So the other thing I started freaking out on is aligners. So I wear Invisalign aligners. It's kind of, they're retainers basically, because I want to keep my teeth from moving. And I realized, oh my gosh, that's made of plastic. And my mouth is warm. It's 98, 99 degrees. And it's molding that plastic, and it's leaching plastic into my mouth and my throat and my body. Oh my gosh. So luckily, or supposedly I should say, Invisalign is the best for not having PFAS, those forever chemicals, and it's supposed to leach the least amount of plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear it less. I don't want my teeth to move. And also I'm going to buy new ones. I'm going to get new molds to get new ones because mine are pretty old, and the older they are, the more plastic it's going to leach. So the newer ones are better, and as products age and they sit in plastic, they tend to break down. So it's good to get a new aligner every so often, apparently. I'm sure you have several of these in your house. A plastic cutting board and I love these. They're super easy. They don't wear down my knives. Then I was like, ooh, I realized when I'm using the cutting board, I'm putting plastic into my fruits and my vegetables. So I want to get rid of it. And I got a wood cutting board again. Let me show you this one. This is my new beefy, I don't put beef on it, cutting board. It's wood. And the thing is, you have to be careful about these cutting boards because they can contain toxic resins. So then you're getting some other horrible chemicals. But there are a couple good ones. And this has no funky resin. It just has linseed oil on it. So I'm gonna put a link in the description so you can, with a bunch of different wood cutting boards and a whole bunch of other products that either don't have microplastics or are undetectable. So you don't have to guess and get all stressed out like me. Okay, this is what I was really shocked. My husband told me a couple years ago that dental floss is coated in plastic and all these different chemicals. So you're taking the dental floss and you're putting it between your teeth, putting it right onto your gums, in your mouth. So you're getting all these chemicals with dental floss. Of course, we should not stop flossing our teeth and gums, but luckily, you can get dental floss without the plastics. There's different brands. This one was very inexpensive. Desert Essence, the tea tree oil. And it's not, you can't just use this little piece throughout your entire mouth. You have to use like a big long string because it doesn't have plastic, so it's not very smooth. So you're gonna have to use a lot of it, but it's very inexpensive. The other thing is toothbrushes. They're all plastic. You know, got the nylon brush is you putting that on your mouth and the wood. So I bought this and I was trying not to gag. So this is wood and just making me tell you, but this makes me want to go. So, you know when you had a popsicle when you were a kid and you finished, you're at the very end of the popsicle and there was that wood stick and you put your tongue on the wood stick and you're like, that's what it's like brushing my teeth with this wood toothbrush. I can't. So, but you can, maybe you can, if you want to, you can buy a wood toothbrush with natural bristles. So I'm gonna stick with my plastic one. I'll just brush my teeth quickly. And yeah, so you can decide how crazy you want to get. A lot of people like to drink their smoothies with a straw. Not me. I don't want more wrinkles around my mouth. But if you like to use a straw, what is that plastic? Okay, so instead you can buy glass straws. So just buy a couple and then you don't have to worry about it. There's ones with different materials too. So you don't have to use plastic straws. So I just recently learned that parchment paper, most of them, they contain plastic. Look, it's white, non-stick. Yeah, it's a little slippery. It didn't occur to me that it has plastic. So I found another brand, which I love this. It's called If You Care. That's the brand. And this is parchment baking paper without bleach. And it works. It works great. So it's not white. It's just as effective as the standard traditional parchment paper. This brand also has baking cups, you know, for cupcakes, or what else do you put this in? Muffins. I don't make muffins. And these work really well too. So I've used these for years and they're fine. They work good. You're not getting plastic. This is what it looks like. And they also have I haven't tried these yet, but the typical, these little things that you put in your dishwasher, plastic, and then the plastic gets melted in your dishwasher, and those little microscopic particles go all over your clean dishes. So they have a non-plastic dishwasher soap. So once I finish using these, I hate wasting things, I'm going to try those. So you can check out their website. I'll link it below. But the brand is called If You Care. And I do. I hope you do too. I got rid of all my plastic spoons and utensils. So now stainless steel, not much more. And then of course, I got rid of the non-stick pans, All-Clad, really great brand. Definitely expensive. It's like all the good stuff's always expensive, but you know, maybe you can find a used one. And I don't need 3 fry pans. You only really need one. Just get a big one, and that way save some money. For all you coffee drinkers, if you go to Starbucks, bring your own mug. Yeah, fill her up. Those non-plastic containers, they contain plastic. If it's not leaking, it contains plastic. So just bring your own mug. Super easy, quick swap. Do you like almond milk in your smoothies? I do too. It's really delicious, having a nice little creamy, healthy beverage. Look what's in it. Plastic. So my husband drinks this. I make my own with almonds, and I just, where are my almonds? I just throw these almonds in my Vitamix with some water, and then I get one of these nut milk bags, drain it, squeeze out the delicious almond milk, and then put that in a glass jar. Got one right here. Oh, anyways, it's up there. And I have a video. I'll put that on the end screen on how to make the almond milk. If I don't find it on the end screen, I'll put the link in the description below. But that's really easy, and you might even save some money. And the good thing about that, making your own, it tastes so much better. It only lasts 3 days, but it's super delicious. You can make it as rich and creamy as you want. You can add more salt. You can get rid of the salt. You can add dates to it to make it sweeter, and you can make it exactly the way you like it, and you can control how much fat you want in it. So you can add more water and less almonds to make it a lower fat, delicious beverage. So the sauerkraut that I really like, it's a beet sauerkraut. I found it was in plastic. I mean, it was in plastic. I didn't just find out. It didn't occur to me. And then so I decided I'm not going to buy it anymore. So I just found a different brand that's in glass. I don't like it as much, but I just feel more comfortable that I'm not eating something that's, especially something that's really wet, like a dry food, which would be better, but something wet in plastic, that's a little bit more dangerous. And then I started looking around my kitchen to see what foods is in plastic. And this delicious salsa is in a nice big jug of plastic, and it's wet. So that's even worse. So I said, all right, let's find some salsa that's not in plastic. This is really good. I really like this one. This one's from Sprouts, organic chunky, and it's in glass. So a lot of your favorite foods that are already in plastic, you can find them most likely in a glass container instead. And then also, so I really like using coconut aminos. So this is, instead of soy sauce, it's less salty, and it's a more natural product, and it's a little sweeter. I love this. Look what it's in. A big plastic bottle. So I contacted the manufacturer and I said, do you have these in glass? And they do, but they're smaller. So the big jugs, and they even have a bigger one, they're in plastic, but the smaller ones are in glass. Of course, that's gonna cost you more, but at least you know you have a glass option. So plastic's not only in our food, as you know, it's in the air we breathe, it's in our furniture, it's in our carpets. So when you're ready to buy new carpet, they do have low VOC and no VOC carpet. And then you got to ask for the low VOC glue, because you might have like a jute carpet or something that's non-toxic, but then you got the toxic glue. So that's a problem. So wood is better, but wood is more expensive. And then the clothes that we're wearing, nylon, it's got all these synthetic fibers, especially the workout clothes, the spandex, those are all petrochemicals. So better is cotton, and cotton's usually pretty inexpensive, and linen, but you're not gonna, at least I haven't found linen that has very many colors, because the colors are toxic too, and there aren't very many options. But cotton's usually easier to find, and bamboo. So this one gal, she makes organic bamboo leggings, and I'll put the link to her website below. Perfumes are highly, highly toxic. I wish people would just not wear perfumes. We shouldn't be smelling each other. Nobody should have a scent to them. So don't put perfume on. Don't wear cologne. They're just full of so many chemicals, and we're all breathing them. You're breathing them into your body, into your lungs, into your tissues. Please do not put on perfume and cologne. And when you buy products, try to get fragrance free. In addition, don't use those plugins, those scents around your house or even in your car, and especially don't light or even have scented candles. Since our homes are toxic, there's not much we can do about that for most of us, but what you can do is open your windows every single day. Again, though, it depends on where you live. If you live in a very dirty area, you know, if you live by the freeway or a country that's very polluted, you're probably not going to want to do that. But you can get an air purifier, and I have 3 in my house. 1 in my bedroom, where you're going to spend a lot of the time, 1 in my office, and 1 in my living room. So I got mine from Costco, and those will help get rid of the contaminants. So another thing that you can do, and this one is inexpensive, is clean your house at least once a week. Vacuum all those particles up, and dust every single week. And wipe everything down. And also your bedding, for sure. All that dander and everything is all over. So vacuum that shit up. You can actually remove the microplastics and excess iron from your blood by donating your blood or your plasma. And if you donate your plasma, you'll get the detoxification quicker. So that's kind of neat. It's like, all right, you can go to the Red Cross and donate. They have all different types of donations, and they do have criteria. One is there's a weight criteria, and you have to be 110 pounds. So I do not qualify. When you buy canned food, look to see if it's BPA free. You want to make sure there's no white liners inside your can. So check out the different brands. Some have it, some don't. Have you noticed some tea bags are encased in plastic? Now this one isn't. This is paper, and the little tag is made of paper too. In addition, I do not heat my tea anymore. So what I'll do, I'll just put the tea bag in my water. I'll let it steep, which means just letting it sit for about 5 minutes, and then it will have the flavor from my tea bag in the water. And then if I want hot tea, then I can heat up that water that is now tea. So that's an easy way to get rid of the microplastics, or at least prevent them from entering your supposedly healthy tea. If you're like most people, you have these little snack bags and you put your sandwiches in them, put your little snacks in them. So you're putting plastic all in your food. So they're all alternatives. There's one called beeswrap, and it's made from beeswax. Super expensive, so if you've got a lot of money to spend, check that out. I'll put the link to that website. So what I'll do is I'll take my little snack and I'll wrap it in a napkin, and then I'll put that into my bag. So if I want to bring some snacks along with me. And the last tip is get outside as much as you can in the park, in some wooded area that has a bunch of trees. Breathe in that healthy forest air. That will help get rid of some of those plastics. Now, these do get removed from our bodies, but it takes years. So these are ways to prevent more from getting ingested and help you remove a lot of these. So the next video I'm going to create is about the foods highest in microplastics. So you want to watch that one to eliminate those foods or at least reduce them. Let me know if you have any questions, and the link to the products that are lowest in microplastics and the safest are in the YouTube description below. Any person can change their health trajectory. Helping people improve their health, sharing my delicious recipes with lots of yummy carbs gives me a high like no drug can. How to prevent and reverse disease, which chronicles my personal health and weight loss story through my website, thehigh5diet.com.